Hello and welcome to another Jeff Walker Books discussion. On the heels of that UAP things, I made a video not too long ago, so have a look and see what you think of that. But on the heels of that, I'm also moving forward with the competitions. I entered the BBNYA, which I guess is the Book Blogger Awards. For any novel, and I submitted it, and it didn't get in. Didn't even make past the semifinal. It didn't even get into the semifinal. So then I tried. I did do the self-publishing science fiction competition, and the second one that was there, and it didn't make it past the slush pile. But there's another one coming. The third contest for that one, and I will be submitting my book again for the competition. Hopefully I can get it in there. We're going to talk about that, and so that's where I am competition wise. There's another competition coming soon too for novellas in September, and I'll try to get my short my little novella of The Long Lost War into that one. It does deserve to be recognized. It is long overdue, and I couldn't put it into any of the other contests because they only want novels. The Long Lost War is not a novel, it's a novella. So it doesn't classify for those contests, but there's one coming that is for novellas and short stories and stuff like that. And I thought that's perfect opportunity for that one. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing with that one. But for the competition of the self-publishing speculative fiction competition, I think that it is dwindling a bit, only because fantasy is dominating right now. Fantasy is coming back in a big way, and it's kind of overshadowing the science fiction community, mainly because of all the fantasy stuff that's coming out. Lord of the Rings and Amazon's travesty of Lord of the Rings TV show. The Wheel of Time's been turned into a TV show, which that is not doing well either. And it's amazing to me because all these fantasy stories are not doing well, but they're still churning them out. Mainly because they want to keep repeating stuff. And I know there's a lot of good fantasy books out there. I don't read them. I hear good things about them. And they have their competition going on right now with their self-published fantasy book contest going on right now, and it's dominating, and they do amazing. They get people, all their books get in right away, and there's just no wiggle room. You have to be there, boom, it's in, which surprises me because I said the one that I've done, it's new. The science fiction one is only this is the third year for the science fiction competition, and for fantasy that's their 9th year. 9 years, but they've got it down pat now because they've had time to work it all out. They've had time to get the judges that they need, and there's just been more of a buzz around theirs than ours. And I say ours because I like the science fiction competition, and I think that it should be right up there. And I'm looking forward to it. There's going to be new judges this year. One judge bowed out. He had conflicting interest for doing it two years in a row. And when I saw his little post of why he was leaving, it made me scratch my head. I won't go into much of the details, but suffice it to say that he wasn't a general fan of independently published books, but he didn't mind judging them, which I understand we're a little. Maybe the contest was like lacking in a lot of interest for judging, I guess you could say. But still, I mean, that was uncalled for. Some of the things that he said in there. I mean, he made it sound, he tried to make it sound like it was not a big deal. But, to many of us self-published authors, we take offense to some of this stuff. I understand there's going to be like grammatical errors and stuff like that cropping up all the time. But you know what? Traditional books have that too. And to sit there and to say that we don't check anything, it's like, that's bull. I know there are some books out there that don't have any editors or anything like that. And it's like, you know what? They can't afford it because that's what a self-publisher is. They're doing it on their own. They don't have the money. They do the best what they can. But it would be a good idea to check the book before you send it. And that's what I've done. I've tried to check my books before I send them off and make sure that they're good and tight and ready. Sometimes I miss things. That's human. Sometimes the editor misses things. That's human too. If you had like an AI, you probably get all these corrections, but some of them wouldn't even make sense. So I do the best I can, and I do the best work I can. Like I said, my novel got rejected a few times. Whether or not that's the case, or whether or not it was just the genre that nobody's interested in. To be honest with you, you have to enjoy the genre, and if you want to enjoy the book. I know there's some judges on there who say otherwise, that, as long as the book is good, I still think that's wrong. I've seen some books go through that I think are just not up to par, and I don't want to call them out. But I mean, some of these book titles they sent through was just like, what? But then I can't judge, right? If I want to be a judge, I should be a judge. But I'm not going to be a judge because I'm not going to do it. They did their best. They got in. I didn't. Fair enough. I can mock it now, but everybody has their own style, and I get it. More quirkier, the better. There's been the ones that won at the top have had some good merit to it, and they seem more of what I'd expect to be at the top. Last Gifts of the Universe. I haven't read it. Maybe I will. That's the one that won this year. And honestly, I didn't think it would make it. I don't think the author even thought it was going to make it. But she did her best, and she got it in there. So kudos to her. So now we're done with that contest, and now we're on to the third contest, which right now is about to open on August 1st for authors to submit. And I encourage submitting. If you have a science fiction novel, any subgenre, I think they're going to kind of clarify that a little bit more. Maybe add in some extra titles just to increase, or they were talking about it's not going to be 300 this year, that they might bring it down to like a 250 or something, or 200, which is fine. Maybe they can't get that many novels because they had a trouble last year acquiring at least 300. They only got to what was it, 250 or 290 or 288 or something like that. Didn't reach the 300 as they promised. And it's a hard thing to get 300 science fiction books, mainly because I don't think they advertised enough to get the author's interest. And they were just a startup. I mean, that was only the second year. This is the third year. As you get more progressive and you get more notice out there of what's going on, and try to advertise a bit more. I'm trying to help push the whenever the banners come up, I try to push it out so that it's on social media more, so that it gets more attention, more authors can be interested. I'm doing my part to help this competition to succeed. I believe in it. Even though I didn't win, I still believe in it. The first year I entered my book, Your Services Required, it got rejected right away. But I still loved it. I still love the concept of it. They made it much easier last year to put in instead of the year before. So this year, I think they're just trying to tighten it up a little bit more, and we'll see how it progresses. But yeah, I'm definitely entering this year. The Jungle Planet is going in, and I hope it does well. I hope it goes further than my other books did. But I'm looking forward to it. And so, yeah, I've done that. And now I'm working on like billions of other stories right now. I've got one on my Ko-Fi account called The Travels of the Infinite Mind. Just a short story. I put the first chapter up as a sample of what they can expect. And if you go to my Ko-Fi account, you'll see it there. And don't be afraid to buy me a coffee. That's the for a donation, kind of like thing. I'm working on some stuff. I've got some other stuff on my Substack, which I have released the first book of the Professor Dark and Miss Shadow. Now, I said I was going to break it up, and I'm still kind of focused that way. So I put it on Substack as there's like a few chapters that are free, and then the rest you have to pay. I was like, sorry, but I need to have some money in order to continue making these books for you. But I mean, I put up some chapters, and you can have a look. My intent is still to split that book into two, because I've got about a halfway point, and I've done about halfway. So maybe after I'm done, I'll publish the book, the first part, and then the second part I'll work on and get that out. I know it's difficult to do books as a whole. Professor Dark and Miss Shadow is a difficult book for me to write as a whole, because it takes up a lot of my time, a lot of detail, a lot of extra stuff I got to put in. I want to make it long, and but at the same time, I think from here on out, every book is going to be a novella, because that's the only way it works for these two. I can't make it any longer, because it drags on. The point of the story gets lost, and I think it works better when there's less filler in the book. And they get right to the action. And that's the thing with me. I like getting right to the action instead of dragging it on. And sometimes that happens in novels, and I detest it. I'm one of these people that I don't want all this exposition. That I don't want all this filler. Kind of like coming into it. And I'm trying to learn how to balance it both. I hope I did well in this one. So we'll see. But if you go on there, yeah, I'm definitely putting up chapters, 2 chapters, maybe bi-weekly, maybe. Seems like a good idea. So if you're there, you can have a look. And I've also done Send in the Dead, which was a story I promised last year that it was going to be out this year. And I have been working on it, and it's in my Substack. It is on there, and it is the same as the Professor Dark Miss Shadow. It's going to be a few chapters free, and then every other subsequent chapter is going to be a paid. I'll do this until the book is done, and once it's done, then I'll shut down the Substack for it, the newsletter Substack, because then it's published, it's done, it's out the door. And those that want to get on board and see it before it jumps out and gets the chapters firsthand, hey, you'll be the first one to give it a say, and maybe you can help me out and tell me where it's doing good, where it's not. And that's, and I'm working on that. So if you go to my Substack account, I've got a few books on there working on it. And then I'm still doing stuff for Royal Road. I still have many chapters on there to work on. So I'm a little busy. And I'm trying to work on another novel, The Space Rockers, The Dangerous Prospect. That book is another one I promised to be out this year. I got The Jungle Planet out. And in a previous video, I said I would try to get that one out as well. And that's still my goal. I may not reach that goal with this book. I may have to go and promise it for the next year because it's just, everything's getting pushed. Either, I'm busy with other things in life, or I'm working on other titles, and I'm trying to juggle all of this as much as I can. It's hard, for a writer to. I'm so desperate to get things out and get noticed that you tend to think, well, I'll do shorter stories, get them out, get something out there, keep my name out there, kind of like thing, and get some content out there. And that's the true for any self-publisher. They're trying to push. What I won't do is what's happening with all the AI books, is that they're writing out books with prompts with the Chat GPT, and they're just destroying literature with this stuff. And I can't be, I don't want to be hypocritical. I mean, I've done AI covers, and I know a lot of people be like, oh, how could you? And it's like, well, I have no money. And I think if you have no money and you're doing an AI cover, it's what you can do. I think if the book becomes successful and that you are making a good monetization on it, you can change the cover later. You don't have the money now, but when you do have the money, change the cover, get an artist. And that's my intent. I've made my own covers with my graphical kind of way. I mean, I'm not an artist. I was an artist a long time ago, but those have been a long time, years that I've not practiced doing it. So, and the technology's moved on, and I just can't figure it out. Some of it's just beyond me. I haven't kept up, so I'm not skilled in that anymore. I can only do what I can only do. And I don't see the problem with the AI art as long as it doesn't get entered into a contest, like a cover contest. I immediately will not let that happen. And if they ask me, like, do you want to put your book in a cover in, I'll say no, because I know what it is, and I know that's unfair to the people that have actually made a good cover. But I don't think that should be changed. That should be a sway point for either they get in or out. I think you shouldn't scold people for that. But I mean, if you're a traditional publisher, then you should be scolded outright, because you have the means and the people to create a cover professionally. The AI cover is just a quick cover, something to splash on there and get your book out there for those that can't afford. And that's what I see it as, a tool. What we could also do is kind of work with it so that it isn't just a straight out copy of it, that you can try to manipulate it. But I don't encourage anybody to do this if you don't want to. I don't encourage using AI as much as possible, because it should be an option that if you have no money, that you can do this by yourself. But I mean, if you're an artist or a company that provides covers and you're doing that, that's wrong, because you're an artist. You're the company responsible for getting paid to get a professional cover done. And if you're being paid for that, then you should produce something that was done by an artist. So I know that sounds hypocritical that I'm doing it, and here I am putting one on some of my books, and I make no bones about it. I have zero money to give anyone. My books eke by. I don't make that much. I'm trying to get my books noticed so that I can start getting professional artwork for the covers. But it's not as easy as it sounds. Some people can get fan bases like right away, and I don't know what their story. Their books might be unique, and that's why they're getting all the people coming their way. I do the best I can with what I've been given or what I can produce. You either like my books or you don't. I can't change that. But I'm trying to get my name out there, and I'm trying to get noticed. But unfortunately, my name falls with another guy who does like marketing books. And whenever I type up my name, I get the marketing guy first thing. His name's Jeff Walker as well, and he's got all these marketing books out there. And I swear to God, it's not me. That's not me. But somebody said, why didn't you create an author name? And I said, well, I like my name and I want to keep my name. And they said, well, you got to change it up a bit. And I said, I did originally, but I thought, you know what? Why should I change? I don't want to change my name. It's who I am. But you'll find that my name sometimes goes under Jeff S. Walker. And I guess I could have put that in, but I kind of like that it's not that crowded with my name. So I took the S out. S means Stuart, so it doesn't mean any other thing. But I think that it's not okay. I know the AI is out here. We're going to have to try to find a way to work around it. I know a lot of authors are vehemently against it and decry anyone that uses it. And I like to be a devil's advocate for a second and say that sometimes it can be a good thing, but not a very necessary thing. If you're a writer, use your mind. If you're stuck and you're trying to think of a good phrase or something, then I can see how that would be helpful. But at the same time, you've got to remember that you're getting it off of an AI that grabbed that from another story. So you've got to look at it and retweak it into your own words. That's the only way I can say that it would work. That if you took the story, you went through it, whatever it wrote for you, and then tried to recraft it for yourself, and not just paste and copy, and there it goes. I can see why some want to use it as a tool. And it can be. I mean, the pro writing editor, it has phrases to suggest. It tries to anticipate what you're trying to do with the story, and that's helpful. I mean, you can either take it or you don't, or you can look at it and think, no, my words are better. For the most part, I think that even the editing tools are starting to get a little wiser, but it's not an outright replacement. That being said, I just feel that there's good sides to everything, bad sides to everything. There'll always be bad sides to technology that people will abuse. And that's just how it is, unfortunately. Humanity always seems to find a way to abuse a new technology. And you can't 100% guarantee that even though you've successfully blocked it from happening in one country, who's to say another country won't just bring it all in, and then you're going to see like the competition heat up. So it's easy to say we can just block it. It's another thing to predict what another person's going to do with it. So you can't stop countries like China or Russia or anybody else trying to misuse this stuff for their own purposes. And so the only way you can do it is trying to keep people aware, and kind of encourage that with other writers, and just try to band together and just try to limit the amount of AI interaction. And again, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite because I'm for the art covers kind of like thing. I'm just thinking that if you're really, strapped for cash, it's the best alternative you can get. Or you could try to find a way or someone that can do it for free, which, unfortunately is not the case. Or you could always promise part of the sales of the book to an artist. But then again, that falls in the same category as the Audible books, royalty plus shares, which, I really stopped doing because I didn't like that they have part ownership of my work. Yes, they're lending their voices. Yes, they're producing it. And I think that's the big problem. I think it's better to outright pay them for the service and at least keep your options open to maintaining that copyright of your own for yourself, and being able to put it anywhere you want. Because with a royalty plus program, you're just so restricted. I've got a couple of titles that are just not going to be able to go anywhere because I have to get the permission of the narrator producer. And I did ask one, and he never got back to me. I don't know if he's still around. I have hinted to another producer of one of my books, and they didn't contact me back. And that's the problem. I said once they're in, they're in. They're going to keep their monetization going as long as the book can make money. So I suggest that it's better for you to do it yourself. I know I'm thinking about it. I know I don't have the talent or the technical skills to do it, but I'm going to try. Maybe. I'm not confident enough to do this because when I read, I sound very drone. It's hard to keep reading the same thing over and over again. And then I know it's my own book and I should know how it sounds, and I do, but it's hard for your own voice to be heard sometimes. And people that are comfortable with this are great. I mean, there is another writer that does it, but he was once a radio host, and I think that's a bit of a skill set. So, but any case, I will try to do it, but I have put it on my Ko-Fi account that I've put up a fund to get my book, The Jungle Planet, professionally done by a narrator. It might be a bit hard right now since they're all on strike, and you're going to see a decline in books because of that, unless you get people that are not in the Actors Guild and stuff. But then I guess your quality will go down. Who knows? Maybe that's why more authors want to try to do it themselves, because some of the actors' prices are way too high. So I will try to do it myself as much as I can. But in the meantime, I'm just going to worry about getting the book into the next competition and see how it progresses from there. And I'll see how it does. So that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, my stuff's on my Substack account. You can go to the link and have a look. And my Ko-Fi, the page is up there for the Travels of the Infinite Mind, and you can see what that one's all about. And like I said, if you feel generous to a writer and leave a donation, even better. These are tough times, and I get it. Everybody's looking for the handout, and some people can't afford it. I understand that. I'm one of those people that can't afford it. I'm one of those people that are struggling to keep up on bills and food. It's not easy when you've got children. It's just a struggle every month by month. That's why I want to get my books more noticed. I want to get more sales in. I want to make money so that I can, feed my family and keep our roof over our head. That's pretty much any publisher's, self-publisher's goal. I don't care for fame. I don't care if I'm not famous. I just want to get my books out there and have you read it. And that's who I am. I want to create stories, and I want you to read the stories and enjoy them. I'm not looking to become put on a pedestal and as a deity or anything, but I'm just showing you what my universe is like in my mind. So on that, I will see you, and look out for my book on the SPSFC3, and let's get the competition rolling. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you again later.